What's good, YouTube? It's Mr. Chow here with another tier list, and coming up soon. In fact, by the time you see this, it'll be out already. The new Spider-Man No Way From Home movie is coming out, and we wanted to do a tier list of all of the live-action and theatrical released Spider-Man movies. And we hope you guys enjoy. Before we begin, please like and subscribe and comment below what your favorite live-action Spider-Man movie was, or theatrical released Spider-Man movie. Okay, so we're gonna start it off here. So Spider-Man 1 is the Tobey Maguire era Spider-Man, came out 2002. Big fan of the movie. I love Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. He's like my favorite Spider-Man. And this is our own opinion. Obviously, you guys can put wherever you want, but we have our S tier, which is highest, and D tier is lowest. I think Spider-Man 1 should be, what do you think, A tier? I think A tier. I like A tier. Willem Dafoe is great as Green Goblin. He's even coming back in No Way From Home. Has a really high like Rotten Tomato score, Google score, whatever you want to put, every score. Good story, good origin. Uncle Ben is the best. With great power comes great responsibility. You know what? We're gonna go S tier. I'm going S tier on this one. Yeah.
I would put A tier.
A tier.
But you can put S tier.
All right. Well, I'm putting it S tier for now, and then we'll skip at the end. Okay. So why wouldn't you want it as S tier then?
Well, I think there are other movies that are better than this one. I think I will put it at A because it's like not the best.
It's not the best even of those ones. Okay, that's fine. Fair.
No, but
fine.
you can put it at S. It's your.
Okay, no, here. I'm gonna put it at A because the next movie, Spider-Man 2, I think is far better.
Oh no, not.
So, I think Spider-Man 2 is awesome. Spider-Man 2 came out 2004. It has Doc Ock, who's amazing in that movie. He's like the best bad guy in all of the movies. The train fight sequence, which is amazing. Like, you want to talk about like a good hero's journey. He's like, there's far better videos out there on YouTube even that have a good breakdown. Like Totally Not Mark is a good YouTube channel who actually did a really good breakdown of the Raimi Spider-Man movies. But yeah, even he says like Spider-Man 2, fantastic story. Like, he becomes Spider-Man because that's what he wants to do, and not just because it's the right thing to do to help others. Fantastic. Really like that one. The cast is all great. Harry Osborn starts to be a little sus of Spider-Man. Alfred Molina as Doc Ock is great. Tobey Maguire is great as Peter Parker. He's okay as Spider-Man, but he's amazing as Peter Parker. And yeah, it has a good ending overall. So we're going S tier on that one. All right, Spider-Man 3. This is a controversial one. It has Bully Maguire in it, though. So Bully Maguire is pretty awesome. We actually started rewatching them in preparation for the No Way From Home. I actually don't think Spider-Man 3 is even that bad. People give it such a bad rap. I don't really think it's that bad. I would put it maybe even B tier. Because it does have like some pretty cool, like the design of Venom does look pretty good. And the origin's not bad. It does have those like really cheesy weird parts, like where he's dancing and stuff. And he has the best line in Spider-Man. It's like, I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye. Love that. And yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the relationship that him and Harry like kind of get back together again. Like become friends again at the end. The Sandman CGI was actually pretty good. He's got some good moments. There's a lot more screaming in this one than in the other ones, I think. Like the really cheesy screaming.
Well, that happens in Spider-Man 2 too. Though.
Yeah, it does. But Spider-Man 2 is better than this one. The bad guys I don't think are quite as good. You know what? Okay, we'll put it C. We'll put it C, but I don't think it's the worst one. All right, Amazing Spider-Man 1. We watched this not too long ago from the time of recording this. I think this is okay. I don't like the suit that he wears in it. I don't think that Spider-Man suit is very good. I don't think that's the best one. Like, the Sam Raimi suits are better. I also think the Amazing Spider-Man 2 has a really good suit at the end.
Honestly, I thought the suits looked pretty similar.
Well, I mean, they're in the similar vein, but, like, the MCU version of Spider-Man doesn't have, like, suits that look as good as his, right? So,
The lizard guy looked really weird.
Oh yeah, and the lizard. I wish his design was better. They didn't even change his design too much, I don't think.
The
For
CGI
No Way
was
From
pretty
Home.
bad too, I thought.
Really?
The lizard guy especially, though.
His was okay. Like when he talks, it's a little funny, but you know, it's the best you could do. This one came out in 2012, so it's like almost 10 years old now. That's crazy. Probably,
now that I watched it again, I don't think I liked it as much as when I watched it back then.
I just don't. Tom Holland, or sorry, I keep saying Tom Holland. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is okay. He does a really good, like he's pretty quippy. He's quippier than some of the other ones, and I like him as Spider-Man, but I don't like him as Peter Parker. I don't really buy him as Peter Parker. Like he doesn't have the dumb nerdiness.
Really, you don't buy him as Peter Parker?
No, he's like. He has
He's
like the
pretty nerdy
smarts.
in this one, though.
No, he's nothing like Tobey Maguire's
Okay,
version.
Tobey Maguire, you don't see like
Tobey
his
Maguire's version is,
smartness
like,
in that movie.
He's dorky. Yeah, he's smart. What are you talking
Tobey
about?
Maguire is more dorky in that movie compared to Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield is actually like doing math and like algorithms in this movie, and it shows like
doesn't
he's,
look
like, smart
dorky,
and, like,
though.
trying to build technology and
It's
stuff.
unrealistic. He doesn't look dorky enough though. And the way Ben Park, like Uncle Ben, dies in this is just dumb. I do not like the way he dies in this. I think
he,
it's
like,
way
grabs the
worse. Yeah. Oh, what do you do on the street when you see a gun fall out of a guy's pocket? Yeah, immediately run for it and fight him for it, right? Makes real sense.
He was scared.
Brutal. I don't like that one. You know what? D. You get D. I don't think this movie's flat out terrible. I really don't think it's great. You know what? Fine. We'll give it C. I think Spider-Man 3 is better than it. That's a hot take. Is that a hot take? I think Spider-Man 3 is better than Amazing Spider-Man. We'll see. We'll see. Amazing Spider-Man 2 comes along. Has really bad villains.
I don't really remember this one, to be honest.
Like,
I just remember that Emma Stone dies.
Yeah, well, because they copied that from the comics, right? So that's kind of cool that they incorporated that into the story, right? And then also the thing was from the Amazing Spider-Man 1 when the Gwen Stacy's dad, the cop, he's like, oh, stay away from my daughter. Promise me you'll stay away from my daughter. This is like dying wish. Immediately breaks it in this one.
Oh, yeah.
And then costs her her life,
Well,
right?
it kind of hinted at the end that he was going to break it anyways. Like at the end of The Amazing Spider-Man.
And this, in Amazing Spider-Man, for some reason, they kind of like, that whole series, they make Peter Parker's parents out to be like super spies or something like crazy. Like, I don't understand what they were going for there. Maybe that's to the fault of like Sony, where they didn't get to finish the story, because maybe something cool, they were going to do something cool with Amazing Spider-Man 3. Unlikely, because that was around the time I think there was all the Sony email leaks, and they had they were gonna work in like an Aunt May like spy. She was a spy, and have an Aunt May like spy thriller movie or something like that. Which sounds awful. So who knows? Anyways, Jamie Foxx's Electro is also way too cartoony. Like, he's not even good like the 60s cartoon good. He's just like terrible. He's like a baffling nerd. He's like mad at Spider-Man because Spider-Man doesn't remember his name. Because he met him one time and it was on his name tag. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I remember that.
The Spidey suit is good in this, though. I like the Spidey suit. The big eyes. It's got the nice bright red and blue colors. The thing I didn't like about the Amazing Spider-Man, the original one suit, is it has like the blue fingers. I don't really like the blue fingers on Spidey. I like his like gloves to be all red, like it is in the Raimi ones. And this one was really nice. Rhino is also cartoony. This is the one where they tried to force the setup of Sinister Six. So we're gonna go D tier. I think this is the worst one, to be honest. I kind of enjoyed it at times, but then it also makes less sense the more I look back on it. And like Harry Osborn and like Peter Parker are like best friends, but they're not even a setup at all in the first one. It's like kind of a mess. All right, we'll move on to MCU era-ish. Okay, so technically Spider-Man makes his first appearance in Civil War, but he's not really in that movie much. He's in it for like a scene. He's fantastic in that movie, though. That movie, if we're just gonna give him his own like part in there, I would put it at least his appearance at like A or B. Because he makes a cool appearance, steals Cap's shield, does all some fun stuff, right? Good intro. Amazing Spider-Man Homecoming. So the actual start of Tom Holland's career as Spider-Man. Has Iron Man in the movie. Heavily influenced by Iron Man. I think Homecoming has really good, like, the bad guy, the Vulture, is really good in it.
Yeah, I really like that one.
I wish he wasn't so... I feel like this is maybe a common complaint about the Tom Holland Spider-Man. It's like, he seems so, like, reliant on the Iron Man Spider-Man suit, basically.
Well, that's his mentor.
But his suit does, like, everything. Like, why does... He doesn't even need to have any special powers. His suit basically is an Iron Man suit painted in the colors of Spider-Man. Like... That, I wish he was a bit more independent in that sense. Mm-hmm. But the bad guy and the relationship he has with the bad guy is really cool, very interesting. So I can't really fault it too much. I say B. What do you think? B?
I would put A or B, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is good though. Like, I can't say it's bad. It's not really a bad movie. It's just.
I can't believe you put Spider-Man 2 at S though. I wouldn't have done that.
Spider-Man 2 is like one of the best movies. It still holds up. It's still good. A train fight scene, man, so awesome. One of the best fight scenes. Okay, we'll do. Do you want to do here? We'll do the other Tom Holland one first.
Far From Home.
Yeah, but yeah. So Far From Home, Mysterio, I thought really looked good as comic book accurate, and Jake Gyllenhaal did a pretty good job as him. The drone idea to incorporate the special effects, because he's supposed to be, I think in the comic books, he's supposed to be like a special effects artist, Mysterio anyways. Oh, so really? That was a good idea to like incorporate
the drone one, I don't know, the drones were kind of dumb in my opinion.
Well, it was the best way to make sense, because he doesn't technically have superpowers, so that was like the best way to make sense of his like powers, right? Because he's like a trickster basically. So I thought that was cool. I like the illusions and stuff. Far From Home, I used to think was better. Some parts I kind of don't like as much.
I thought it was kind of silly.
Like, I know at the end of Homecoming they kind of shoehorn in that like Zendaya's character is MJ, even though they were trying to hide that. I was like, okay, but she isn't like the same kind of MJ that you think about in the comics or even in the other movies. Yeah, I don't know. Their relationship's a bit better in this one. You know what, maybe, okay, I'm gonna say B for this one, but Spider-Man Homecoming is better.
Okay.
I think Spider-Man Homecoming is slightly better than Far From Home. Far From Home has good moments. I like that he comes in and builds his suit afterwards. I thought that was cool, but I'm pretty sure I like Homecoming better. Also, because Iron Man's in it. Lots of people like Iron Man. He has like, oh, the ship scene is in the boat scene where the boat splits in half. That's in Homecoming. Yeah, Homecoming's much better than that movie. Yeah, than Far From Home. Now that I think about it. It has a cool revelation at the end. And J. Jonah Jameson, played by, oh, what's his name? J.K. Simmons. Sorry, that's it. As J.K. Simmons is back in that at the end. That was cool. That was it. But that's like, you know, if the end credit scene is like the most interesting part of your movie, that's not necessarily a good sign, right? So we're gonna move these around. Okay. And if you really want to do do you really want to do one S tier?
No, you can have multiple ones, but I wouldn't put Spider-Man 2 at S tier. I would put that in, I put Spider-Man in S tier.
Okay, well, I'm going to do it
in my opinion
today just to have S tier as Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, that one's the best one by far.
Yeah, the Miles Morales one, we love that one. I thought it was so good. When they first announced it, I thought it was the silliest idea. They're like, oh, we're going to make an animated Spider-Man movie. Like, I like the animated, like the mid-90s cartoon Spider-Man. I like, obviously, the 60s cartoon Spider-Man. But, like, to make a movie about it, I was like, wow, this is so silly sounding. And then when they showed that trailer and it looked like a comic book had like leaped off the page, that was super cool.
The effects were all really good. Yeah,
the effects were neat. I liked, like, I know obviously everyone likes Peter Parker, but like having a different a different person be Spider-Man, like Miles Morales, that's a good idea. That was cool. Like, that was unique. Even then they brought in all the different Spider-People, because Gwen Stacy is Spider-Gwen in that too. So, Nick Cage was Spider-Man Noir. I thought that was funny. Oh my god. Peter Porker. They had like the Spider-Pig guy. Oh, that was a good movie. We really liked that one. They had a lot of stars. Yeah, the effects were amazing. Good story, you know. Yeah, overall, that's my favorite Spider-Man movie that's come out. I don't think that's really a hot take. I feel like a lot of people really like that Spider-Man movie. Deserved to make more money. I'm so happy it's getting a sequel. Looks amazing already. All right. Yeah, so I just decided we're switching it around. We're going to bump these into here. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to see what we can do with this. Okay, so after playing around with some of our placements, I personally am not a fan of the Amazing Spider-Man movies that much. If you are, that's totally cool. I totally get it if you want to put these higher. I personally don't like those as much. I still like the Raimi movies, even though they're a little cheese. But yeah, so Amazing Spider-Man 2 we had as our lowest in D tier. Just because the story's silly, the bad guys aren't memorable. You know, like a Spider-Man movie is about Spider-Man, but it's also about his bad guys. His bad guys got to be good too. Spider-Man 3 has that issue a bit, but I mean, it's at least part of the other Spider-Man movies, and it's not as bad as people give it credit for. If you guys watch it again, I don't think it's personally as bad. I also think the Billy Maguire memes are so funny in it. That makes the movie for me. Amazing Spider-Man regular one, it's okay. Spider-Man Far From Home, it's a pretty decent movie. I'm gonna have to watch it again.
High, in my opinion.
It'd be, I don't think it's as bad as these though. Like, I think these are much worse than this movie. Like the Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 2, or sorry, Amazing Spider-Man 1 were far worse than this movie. I do like Homecoming. Homecoming's pretty good. We did decide to bump it up from B to A and to A tier because I don't like it quite as much as the first two Raimi movies, but we put it there. The two Raimi movies, 1 and 2, both great. I love them both. They're fantastic movies. I just decided to have only one S tier this time around. That's why we bumped Spider-Man 2 down. But Spider-Man 2 is my favorite of the live-action Spider-Man movies. I'm hoping No Way From Home is just as good. There needs to be Tobey Maguire. There needs to be Andrew Garfield in the finale with Tom Holland. That would be so cool. Please don't mess it up, Sony and Marvel. Hopefully they don't. They messed it up with Star Wars when they didn't have Luke, Han, and Leia in one scene together in the sequels. Don't do the same thing with the Spider-Man movies, okay? And Into the Spider-Verse is a phenomenal movie. If you guys haven't seen it, please do watch it, okay? It's amazing. We really enjoyed it. Hope you guys liked our list. Please let us know what your order is down below. I'm happy to hear out from you guys. I know last time a lot of people had some strong opinions about their Squid Game list. But yeah, hope you guys liked it. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate your support. Almost at 100 subscribers. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Ciao.
Bye.